Have you ever wondered, why do I still feel unfulfilled, no matter how much I achieve or possess? In today's fast-paced world, we're often caught in a cycle of chasing wealth, fame, or building a luxurious lifestyle. Yet, when we finally reach those milestones, why does an inexplicable emptiness linger? This isn't a coincidence, nor is it your fault. According to Buddhist teachings, what we're truly searching for can't be found in material possessions or external achievements, it has always been within us. So where does true peace lie? This is the question the Buddha answered over 2,500 years ago. He taught that peace is not something you can buy or find outside yourself. It doesn't come from money, power, or relationships. Instead, peace is a state of mind, a balance within, that we all have the capacity to attain. Have you ever felt that peace isn't about what you have but about how you perceive and experience life? In this video, we'll dive into 5 essential perspectives from Buddhist teachings to understand why true peace doesn't need to be sought far and wide, it already exists within you. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Why do you think we often look for peace in the outside world instead of within ourselves? Share your ideas in the comments below. If you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share this video with your loved ones, and hit the subscribe button to explore more profound lessons from Buddhist teachings. Together, let's spread the timeless wisdom of inner peace to everyone around us. Part 1. The essence of inner peace, a Buddhist perspective. Inner peace, in Buddhist teachings, is not just a state of stillness or the absence of violence or noise. It is a profound inner transformation, beginning within the heart. It is not something that can be found in a distant place or through material conditions. True inner peace arises from the mind. Through a process of inner purification that frees us from the disturbances of worldly attachments and desires. To understand the essence of inner peace, we must return to the core of Buddhist teachings, where everything is seen from the profound perspective of impermanence and non-self. A calm mind and a peaceful world. In Buddhist scriptures, there is a famous saying, when the mind is at peace, the world is at peace. This is not merely advice, it is a truth. When our mind is calm and undisturbed, everything around us also becomes harmonious. However, the external world often serves as a reflection of our inner state. Emotions such as anger, greed, anxiety, or sorrow all stem from within. When the heart finds tranquility and peace, we no longer get swept away by external circumstances. We no longer perceive the world as chaotic but as a space that can be calm and beautiful, even if it may still present challenges. Buddhism teaches that if we only focus on seeking peace from the outside, we will never truly attain it. Peace is not something we can buy or find in the material world. True peace is the result of mastering the mind. Impermanence and inner peace. One of the most important concepts in Buddhism is impermanence. Everything in this world changes, nothing lasts forever. This is an unavoidable truth. And it is through understanding impermanence that we can let go of worries, fears about the future, and regrets about the past. True peace is only found when we accept that everything is impermanent and nothing is permanent. This acceptance, of letting go of what cannot be changed, brings us a wonderful freedom. By embracing impermanence, we are no longer caught up in excessive emotions or anxieties about what cannot be controlled. We learn to live in the present moment. And this presence is the key to finding peace in every single moment. When we stop drowning in the past or worrying about the future, we can fully enjoy life with tranquility and serenity. The self and peace. In Buddhist teachings, the concept of non-self, anatta, is also vital in achieving inner peace. The self that we create throughout life often leads us into complicated and contentious relationships. This sense of I is the root of much suffering. When we understand that the self is merely a concept with no inherent reality, our mind becomes free from attachment and conflict. Without an I to defend, without an I to preserve, Everything becomes lighter and more peaceful. True peace arises when we no longer try to assert that, I am the center of everything. When we let go of the ego, we realize that we are simply a part of the interconnectedness of the universe. We cannot live apart from everything else, we are always interconnected. This is one of the key teachings in Buddhism. When we release the ego, we realize that we and the universe are one. How to attain inner peace? To attain inner peace, Buddhism encourages practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and developing compassion. Meditation helps us master the mind, preventing it from being carried away by scattered thoughts. Mindfulness is the practice of living fully in each moment, aware of everything happening in life without judgment or attachment. Compassion, by understanding and empathizing with the suffering of others, helps us develop a heart that is open and free from narrowness or grudges. These practices are not meant to escape reality or create a false, safe zone. Rather, they allow us to face the challenges of life while maintaining inner peace. Buddhism teaches that true peace is not the result of avoiding difficulties, but of facing them without letting them disturb the heart. Peace is an ongoing internal process. Inner peace, according to Buddhist teachings, is not a destination, it is an ongoing process. It is the journey of purifying the heart, letting go of unattainable desires, and living fully in the present. When we find peace within ourselves, nothing can disturb our minds, no matter how the external world changes. When the mind is at peace, the world is at peace. When the mind is calm, we see everything around us as peaceful. And this is when true peace begins. Inner peace is our inherent nature, we only need to stop, observe, and let our hearts return to its source. At that moment, we no longer need to search for peace, because it is already present in every breath, in every moment of life. Part 2. The mistake of seeking peace outside. In our daily lives, we often fall into the trap of believing that peace can be found in external circumstances, whether it's a stable job, a perfect partner, or material wealth. We think that by acquiring these things, we will attain the calm and contentment we seek. However, these external factors are, by nature, transient. They are constantly shifting, subject to change, and can never provide lasting fulfillment. The true essence of peace, according to Buddhist teachings, lies not in the world around us but within the depths of our own hearts. The illusion of external solutions. We are taught from an early age that happiness and peace are the products of achieving certain external goals. If we secure a well-paying job, find the right partner, or accumulate wealth, we are led to believe that we will finally experience lasting tranquility. This belief is ingrained in the very fabric of our modern society, where success is often measured by tangible possessions or social status. Yet, the more we chase after these external sources of peace, the further we seem to drift from true contentment. Material wealth, while it may provide comfort, cannot quench the deeper thirst for peace. A stable job might offer security, but it cannot protect us from the inevitable changes and challenges that life brings. Even a perfect relationship, with all its love and connection, cannot shield us from the inherent impermanence of life. At some point, all of these things will fade, change, or be lost, and when they do, the peace we thought we had found will vanish as well. Buddhism teaches us that these attachments to external things only create a false sense of security, which, in turn, leads to greater suffering when they are inevitably disrupted. This is the core of the Buddha's teachings on attachment and suffering. Our desire to cling to things that are transient, whether people, objects, or situations, leads us away from the peace that is already within us. The truth of impermanence. One of the most fundamental teachings in Buddhism is the law of impermanence, anicca. Everything in the universe is constantly changing, and nothing remains the same forever. This is true for both material things and emotional states. We may experience moments of joy, but they are fleeting. We may have wealth, but it may be lost. We may form close relationships, but they, too, may change over time. Recognizing the impermanence of all things is not meant to make us feel hopeless, but rather to guide us toward understanding that true peace comes not from holding on to the temporary, but from accepting the fluid nature of life. By embracing impermanence, we can let go of our attachment to things that will inevitably change. Instead of seeking peace in the transient, we can find it in the ever-present moment and within ourselves. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to develop mindfulness and awareness of the present moment. When we live with full awareness of the present, we begin to realize that peace is not something to be found in the future or the past, but something that already exists within us, right here, right now. The only true refuge, the inner self. Buddhism emphasizes that the only true, unchanging refuge we can rely on is our own mind and inner wisdom. As the Buddha said, the only stable refuge is the soul itself. This means that no matter what external circumstances arise, our inner peace remains steadfast if we cultivate it within ourselves. External circumstances, whether positive or negative, will always fluctuate. However, the peace we cultivate through meditation, mindfulness, and self-awareness is not subject to these changes. By turning inward and cultivating a peaceful mind, we can create a stable foundation for ourselves that remains unshaken, regardless of what happens around us. The practice of mindfulness teaches us to focus on the present moment and to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment or attachment. By doing so, we can become less reactive to the ups and downs of life and find a deeper sense of peace within. The true refuge is not in external achievements or possessions but in the deep connection we have with ourselves. When we understand this, we stop chasing after elusive external sources of peace and instead learn to nurture the inner peace that already resides within us. This is not a passive process. It requires effort and dedication to cultivate a peaceful mind through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection. The inner journey. Freedom from external dependence. In a world where external success is often celebrated, it can be difficult to shift our focus inward. We are conditioned to seek validation from others and to measure our worth by what we have or what we achieve. But the Buddha's teachings invite us to reconsider this approach. True freedom comes not from accumulating things or seeking approval from others, but from letting go of our dependence on the external world for validation and peace. As we begin to understand that peace comes from within, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of desire and attachment. We no longer feel the need to constantly search for peace outside of ourselves. Instead, we learn to cultivate it from within, through our own inner practices and awareness. This shift in perspective allows us to experience lasting contentment, regardless of the circumstances around us. Buddhism encourages us to turn our attention inward, to develop our spiritual practice, and to focus on cultivating qualities such as compassion, mindfulness, and equanimity. When we do this, we come to realize that the world around us may change, but our inner peace remains constant. The path to lasting peace. Ultimately, the path to lasting peace lies in understanding the limitations of external sources of happiness and fulfillment. By recognizing the impermanence of all things and letting go of our attachments to them, we open ourselves up to the possibility of true inner peace. This peace is not dependent on what we have or what we achieve, but on our ability to cultivate a calm and contented mind, no matter the external circumstances. Buddhism teaches that by turning inward, by developing our awareness and mindfulness, we can find the peace we seek. The external world may be full of distractions and challenges, but by cultivating our inner wisdom and compassion, we can remain steady and peaceful, regardless of what happens around us. The only true refuge is our own mind. And when we learn to rest in this inner peace, we find that we no longer need to search for peace outside of ourselves. The shift toward inner peace. In conclusion, the mistake of seeking peace outside of ourselves is one that many of us make, especially in a society that prizes external success and material wealth. But Buddhism teaches us that true peace does not come from things, people, or situations, it comes from within. By recognizing the impermanence of all things and letting go of our attachments to them, we can find a deeper, more lasting peace that is not dependent on external conditions. The journey to inner peace is one of self-discovery, mindfulness, and acceptance of the present moment. It is a path that leads us away from the endless chase for external validation and toward the realization that the peace we seek is already within us. Part 3. Inner peace has always been present. In the teachings of Buddhism, inner peace is not something we must search for or attain through external circumstances, it is already within us. It is like a treasure buried deep beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. However, this peace is often obscured by the constant turbulence of our thoughts, emotions, and desires. These mental distractions create layers of illusion that block our natural state of tranquility. But through mindfulness, meditation, and the practice of letting go of attachment and desire, we can gradually unveil this hidden peace, which has always been with us, even when we feel lost or unsettled. The nature of the mind. A veil of distractions. Buddhism teaches us that the mind is inherently pure and peaceful, yet it is constantly clouded by thoughts, worries, and desires. Our thoughts, which arise and pass away like clouds in the sky, often take control of our awareness, leading us to believe that we are our thoughts. We become so absorbed in them that we forget the deeper, unchanging peace that lies beneath. These mental fluctuations are often driven by attachment to past experiences, fear of the future, and a sense of craving for things we feel we lack. Our attachments to things, people, and outcomes only deepen the illusion that peace is something external, something to be attained by acquiring more or changing circumstances. However, when we pause and look inward, we begin to realize that true peace does not depend on the outer world. It is not bound by conditions, rather, it is the natural state of a clear and undisturbed mind. The Buddha's teachings remind us that our mind is like a still lake, but it is often disturbed by the ripples of our thoughts and desires. When we learn to calm these ripples through mindfulness and meditation, the lake of our mind becomes clear, and the true nature of peace is revealed. The power of mindfulness. Clearing the path to inner peace. Mindfulness, sati, is the practice of being fully present in each moment, without judgment or attachment. It is the process of observing our thoughts, feelings, and actions with awareness, without getting caught up in them. Mindfulness helps us to see the transient nature of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to step back and gain perspective. When we are mindful, we cease to identify with every passing thought or feeling. Instead of being swept away by our emotions or desires, we become aware of them as they arise and pass away. This awareness creates space in the mind, allowing us to experience the underlying peace that exists beyond our thoughts. Mindfulness helps us realize that our mental disturbances are temporary and do not define who we truly are. Through regular practice of mindfulness, we begin to peel away the layers of distraction that obscure our natural peace. Just as a mirror reflects our true image when it is cleaned of dust, our minds reflect the purity of peace when they are cleared of attachment, fear, and desire. With each mindful breath, we reconnect to the deeper stillness that is always present within us. Meditation, the gateway to the heart of peace. While mindfulness helps us remain present in our daily lives, meditation, dhyana, is the tool that allows us to dive deeper into our inner world and uncover the peace that lies at the core of our being. Meditation is the practice of cultivating a focused mind, allowing us to observe our inner world without judgment or interference. Through meditation, we learn to quiet the restless mind, which is often filled with thoughts about the past or worries about the future. In the stillness of meditation, we begin to realize that these thoughts are not who we are. They are transient phenomena, like waves on the surface of the ocean. Beneath these waves lies the still, unmovable ocean, representing our true nature. The Buddha taught that by observing the breath, We can anchor ourselves in the present moment and connect to the peace that resides within. Meditation helps us break free from the endless cycle of thoughts and distractions, guiding us toward the source of our true peace. Through regular meditation, we can train the mind to return to its natural state of calm, gradually dissolving the layers of stress, anxiety, and attachment that obscure our peace. Letting go of desire, the path to true freedom. In Buddhism, desire, tanha, is seen as one of the primary causes of suffering. Desire is like a flame that can never be satisfied. The more we try to feed it, the stronger it grows, and the more it consumes us. Letting go of desire is not about renouncing pleasure or material things, but about freeing ourselves from the belief that our happiness depends on them. When we let go of attachment to external outcomes, we create space for the peace that has always been within us. This process of letting go is not always easy, as it requires us to confront the very things that we think bring us security and comfort. Yet, as we let go of our attachments, we begin to experience the deep sense of peace that arises from within, untouched by the fluctuating conditions of the world. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to practice detachment, not by avoiding or rejecting life, but by cultivating a mindset that does not cling to or identify with the impermanent. When we stop seeking fulfillment in the external world and turn inward, we open ourselves to the peace that already resides within us. Discovering peace in the present moment. The key to unlocking inner peace lies in our ability to embrace the present moment. So often, we are trapped in the past, reliving old wounds, or consumed with anxiety about the future. We forget that the only moment we truly have is the present. Buddhism teaches us that the present moment is the gateway to peace, and by fully inhabiting it, we reconnect with our true nature. When we are fully present, we are no longer weighed down by the burdens of the past or the uncertainties of the future. We experience life as it is, without resistance or attachment. This is the essence of mindfulness. Living fully in the present, without distraction or judgment. When we do this, we experience the peace that has always been there, waiting for us to recognize it. The ever-present nature of peace. Ultimately, inner peace is not something that can be acquired or created. It is a natural state of being that is always present, even when we are unaware of it. Through mindfulness, meditation, and letting go of desire, we can uncover this peace and experience it in every moment. The Buddha's teachings remind us that peace is not a distant goal to be achieved, but a realization of what is already here, within us. Inner peace has always been within us, but it is often obscured by the distractions of the mind and the desires that pull us in every direction. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and letting go of attachment, we can gradually clear away these distractions and reconnect to the deep, unshakable peace that is our true nature. This peace is always present, waiting for us to rediscover it. And when we do, we find that it was never lost, it has been there all along, patiently waiting for us to return home. Part 4. Practices to discover peace. In the teachings of Buddhism, the path to inner peace is not a distant goal, but a series of transformative practices that help us reconnect to the natural state of tranquility that lies within. The Buddha taught that by cultivating specific practices, mindfulness, meditation, and letting go of attachments, we can gradually uncover the peace that is always present within us. These practices are not separate from life, they are, in fact, the foundation of a life that is truly lived in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. Let's explore these practices in depth and how they can be applied in our everyday lives. 1. Mindfulness, focusing on the present moment. Mindfulness, or sati, is the cornerstone of Buddhist practice. It involves cultivating an awareness of the present moment, free from judgment, distraction, or attachment. In a world filled with constant noise and stimuli, we often find ourselves pulled between the past and the future. The past holds on to us through regrets, guilt, and memories, while the future pulls us forward with worries, plans, and anxieties. This fragmentation of our attention keeps us from truly experiencing the richness of the present moment, where peace resides. The practice of mindfulness involves observing our thoughts, feelings, and experiences as they arise, without clinging to them or pushing them away. It is about being fully engaged with life as it unfolds, in its raw, unfiltered reality. Instead of judging our thoughts as good or bad, we simply notice them and let them pass. Just like clouds drifting across the sky. This non-reactive awareness allows us to return to the present moment, the only moment where peace can be found. When we practice mindfulness, we stop living on autopilot. We stop reacting automatically to life's challenges, and instead, we begin to observe ourselves with clarity and presence. By focusing on the present, we become aware of the space between our thoughts and emotions, and within that space, we can discover the stillness of our true nature. Whether we are eating, walking, or simply breathing, mindfulness allows us to experience life fully, without distractions. Incorporating mindfulness into daily life requires practice. Simple actions, like taking a deep breath before responding to a stressful situation, or noticing the sensations of our body while we walk, can bring us back to the present moment. Over time, this practice helps us create a foundation of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances but on our own ability to be present with whatever is happening. 2. Meditation. Creating a space of silence in the mind. Meditation, or dhyana, is the practice of intentionally cultivating stillness and focus. It is the tool that allows us to quiet the mind and deepen our connection to the inner peace that is already within us. The act of sitting down in silence, focusing on the breath, and letting go of distractions is a direct way to experience the unchanging, calm nature of the mind. When we meditate, we create a space where thoughts can arise and dissolve without our interference. At first, the mind may seem chaotic, filled with a flood of thoughts and emotions. However, with continued practice, we begin to see that these thoughts are fleeting and insubstantial. They come and go like waves on the surface of the ocean, while the deep, still water beneath remains untouched. Meditation is not about forcing the mind into silence, it is about allowing silence to emerge naturally. It is about stepping aside from the constant stream of thoughts and resting in the awareness of the present moment. As we practice, we begin to experience the deep peace that lies beyond thought and distraction. There are many forms of meditation, but all share the same underlying goal: to return to the present moment and cultivate a deep sense of stillness and clarity. Some people focus on the breath, others on a mantra or a visual object. Regardless of the technique, the essence of meditation is to quiet the mental chatter and experience the profound peace that comes when the mind is still. In our fast-paced world, finding moments of quiet to meditate can be challenging. But even just a few minutes of meditation each day can have a profound effect on our ability to find peace amidst the chaos. By setting aside time each day to sit in stillness, we train our minds to return to this state of peace, and we begin to carry that sense of calm into all aspects of our lives. 3. Letting go. Releasing what does not belong to us. One of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism is the practice of letting go, releasing attachment to things, people, and experiences that do not belong to us. Often, we hold on to things in life because we believe they define us or bring us happiness. We attach to material possessions, relationships, status, and even our own identities, thinking that these things will bring us lasting fulfillment. However, as the Buddha taught, attachment is the root of suffering. When we let go of what does not belong to us, whether it is a past regret, an expectation of the future, or a material possession, we free ourselves from the grasp of desire and attachment. This does not mean that we renounce all things, but rather, that we stop clinging to them as sources of happiness or security. By letting go of the need to control everything around us, we open ourselves to the present moment and to the natural flow of life. Letting go is an active process. It requires awareness of the things we are clinging to and the willingness to release them. This could be as simple as letting go of the need to be right in a conversation, or as profound as releasing a long-held grudge or fear. By practicing non-attachment, we create space for peace to emerge, unencumbered by the weight of our expectations. The Buddha's teachings remind us that nothing is permanent, and everything in life is subject to change. By accepting the impermanence of all things and letting go of our attachment to them, we open ourselves to the freedom that comes with living in the present. When we stop clinging to things that are out of our control, we create room for the peace that is always available to us. 4. Integrating these practices into daily life. While mindfulness, meditation, and letting go are powerful practices, their true power lies in how we integrate them into our daily lives. It is not enough to practice mindfulness during a meditation session or to let go of attachment during a retreat. True peace comes when these practices become a part of how we approach every moment of our lives. Mindfulness can be practiced in every action, from the way we eat to the way we interact with others. It is about bringing our full attention to each moment, noticing the sensations, thoughts, and emotions that arise without judgment. By practicing mindfulness in our daily activities, we begin to experience the peace that comes from being fully present. Meditation does not have to be confined to a specific time or place. We can meditate while we walk, while we breathe, or even while we wait in line. These moments of stillness and presence allow us to reconnect with our inner peace, even in the midst of a busy day. Letting go is not just something we do once. It is a practice we engage in throughout our lives. It is about releasing our attachments in every moment, whether it is letting go of a judgmental thought, an unrealistic expectation, or an emotional reaction. Each moment we let go of something, we make space for peace to arise. The path to lasting peace. In conclusion, the practices of mindfulness, meditation, and letting go are not just Buddhist teachings, they are practical tools that can help us uncover the peace that is already within us. They provide a way to quiet the noise of our thoughts, to reconnect with the present moment, and to release the attachments that keep us trapped in cycles of desire and suffering. As we practice these techniques, we discover that peace is not something we must strive for or achieve, it is something we can tap into at any moment, simply by returning to the present and letting go of what no longer serves us. By incorporating these practices into our daily lives, we create a foundation for lasting peace that can weather any storm. The Buddha taught that by observing the breath, we can anchor ourselves in the present moment and connect to the peace that resides within. Meditation helps us break free from the endless cycle of thoughts and distractions, guiding us toward the source of our true peace. Through regular meditation, we can train the mind to return to its natural state of calm, gradually dissolving the layers of stress, anxiety, and attachment that obscure our peace. Letting go of desire, the path to true freedom. In Buddhism, desire, tanha, is seen as one of the primary causes of suffering. We are constantly seeking external objects, experiences, or achievements, believing that they will bring us lasting happiness and fulfillment. However, as the Buddha taught, desire is like a flame that can never be satisfied. The more we try to feed it, the stronger it grows, and the more it consumes us. Letting go of desire is not about renouncing pleasure or material things, but about freeing ourselves from the belief that our happiness depends on them. When we let go of attachment to external outcomes, we create space for the peace that has always been within us. This process of letting go is not always easy, as it requires us to confront the very things that we think bring us security and comfort. Yet, as we let go of our attachments, we begin to experience the deep sense of peace that arises from within, untouched by the fluctuating conditions of the world. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to practice detachment, not by avoiding or rejecting life, but by cultivating a mindset that does not cling to or identify with the impermanent. When we stop seeking fulfillment in the external world and turn inward, we open ourselves to the peace that already resides within us. Discovering peace in the present moment. The key to unlocking inner peace lies in our ability to embrace the present moment. So often, we are trapped in the past, reliving old wounds, or consumed with anxiety about the future. We forget that the only moment we truly have is the present. Buddhism teaches us that the present moment is the gateway to peace, and by fully inhabiting it, we reconnect with our true nature. When we are fully present, we are no longer weighed down by the burdens of the past or the uncertainties of the future. We experience life as it is, without resistance or attachment. This is the essence of mindfulness. Living fully in the present, without distraction or judgment. When we do this, we experience the peace that has always been there, waiting for us to recognize it. The ever-present nature of peace. Ultimately, inner peace is not something that can be acquired or created. It is a natural state of being that is always present, even when we are unaware of it. Through mindfulness, meditation, and letting go of desire, we can uncover this peace and experience it in every moment. The Buddha's teachings remind us that peace is not a distant goal to be achieved, but a realization of what is already here, within us. Inner peace has always been within us. But it is often obscured by the distractions of the mind and the desires that pull us in every direction. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and letting go of attachment, we can gradually clear away these distractions and reconnect to the deep, unshakable peace that is our true nature. This peace is always present, waiting for us to rediscover it. And when we do, we find that it was never lost, it has been there all along, patiently waiting for us to return home. Part 5: The Benefits of Finding Inner Peace. In the teachings of Buddhism, inner peace is not merely a desirable state, it is the foundation of a life that is steady, balanced, and in harmony with the ever-changing nature of the world. When we achieve true peace within ourselves, we unlock the ability to face life's challenges with grace, resilience, and clarity. The external world may continue to fluctuate with uncertainty, but the peaceful mind remains unaffected by these changes. It is like a deep, calm lake that mirrors the sky. No matter how turbulent the surface may seem. The Buddha's wisdom, encapsulated in the saying, Tom and Van Suen, when the mind is at peace, all things are at peace, speaks to the transformative power of inner peace. The peace we cultivate within our hearts is not a passive state but an active, powerful force that radiates outward, influencing every aspect of our lives. This peace becomes the lens through which we perceive the world and the calmness with which we meet each moment. 1. Peace in the face of life's challenges. Life is filled with ups and downs, moments of joy, suffering, success, failure, and countless uncertainties. While we cannot control the events that happen around us, we have the ability to control how we respond to them. The true benefit of finding inner peace is that it allows us to face these challenges without being overwhelmed by them. When we are at peace within ourselves, external circumstances no longer disturb our inner equilibrium. Difficulties that once seemed overwhelming are viewed from a different perspective. Rather than reacting impulsively, driven by anger, fear, or frustration, we respond with a sense of calm and clarity. We can take a step back, observe the situation, and approach it with a steady mind, free from emotional turbulence. This is not to say that challenges cease to exist, rather, the way we meet them changes. With inner peace, we are able to face adversity with a greater sense of understanding and patience. We can weather storms without being swept away by them. This perspective is not something that comes overnight, but through consistent practice and the cultivation of mindfulness, meditation, and letting go. When we no longer allow external events to dictate our emotional state, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering that comes from attachment to outcomes. We begin to see that each moment, whether good or bad, is just a passing experience in the flow of life. This shift in perspective allows us to approach difficulties with greater equanimity, knowing that just as joy and success are fleeting, so too are pain and hardship. 2. a clearer path to decision-making. One of the greatest benefits of inner peace is its ability to clarify our minds. Especially when it comes to making decisions. The mind that is clouded by stress, anxiety, or emotional turbulence is like a murky pond, unable to reflect the truth clearly. When we cultivate inner peace, the mind becomes still and clear, allowing us to make decisions based on wisdom rather than impulse or fear. In daily life, we are often faced with choices that may seem difficult or overwhelming. We may worry about the consequences of our decisions or be paralyzed by doubt and uncertainty. But when we are at peace, we are able to trust in our intuition and the wisdom that resides within. We can approach decision-making with a sense of calm confidence, knowing that whatever the outcome, we have made the choice with a clear and focused mind. Inner peace also allows us to make decisions that align with our true values. Rather than being swayed by external pressures or the desire to please others, it becomes easier to act from a place of authenticity and integrity, rather than from a place of fear, insecurity, or selfishness. In this way, peace does not just help us navigate life's challenges, it helps us live in alignment with our highest self. 3. Building resilience and emotional stability. Life often presents us with emotional storms, loss, disappointment, anger, sadness, that can leave us feeling fragile and vulnerable. However, when we cultivate inner peace, we develop the resilience to withstand these emotional upheavals. Peace does not mean the absence of emotion, but rather the ability to experience emotions without being overwhelmed or controlled by them. A peaceful mind is not one that represses emotions, but one that allows them to arise and pass freely without attachment. Emotions are seen as natural responses to experiences, but they do not define us. When we accept our emotions and allow them to move through us without clinging to them, we create space for healing and emotional balance. This resilience is not built overnight, but through consistent practice of mindfulness, meditation, and self-awareness. As we become more attuned to our emotional landscape, we learn to recognize when our emotions are starting to take control, and we can take steps to restore balance. This may involve taking a few deep breaths, stepping away from a situation to reflect, or simply allowing ourselves the space to feel what we are feeling without judgment. Over time, this practice of emotional awareness and acceptance builds our emotional stability. We become less reactive to the ups and downs of life, and more capable of maintaining a sense of equilibrium, no matter what challenges arise. 4. Cultivating compassion and connection. Inner peace not only benefits our own well-being but also enhances our relationships with others. When we are at peace within ourselves, we are more able to connect with others in a genuine and compassionate way. Our interactions become less about fulfilling our own needs and more about understanding and supporting those around us. In the absence of inner peace, we may find ourselves driven by ego, jealousy, or a sense of competition. We may seek validation from others or act from a place of defensiveness or fear. But when we are at peace, we are able to act from a place of love and understanding. We become more attuned to the needs of others and less focused on our own insecurities or desires. This deeper sense of connection extends not only to those close to us but to all beings. The Buddha taught that peace and compassion go hand in hand, and that true peace arises from a heart that is open to others' suffering and joy. As we cultivate peace within ourselves, we naturally develop a greater sense of empathy and kindness toward others. This creates a ripple effect, spreading peace to those around us and fostering a sense of harmony and understanding in our communities. 5. Peace as a constant source of strength. Finally, inner peace becomes a constant source of strength and inspiration. When our minds are at peace, we are grounded in our true nature, which is unshakable and unwavering. We are no longer tossed about by the winds of external circumstances but stand firm in the knowledge that our peace is not dependent on the world around us. This inner strength allows us to face life with courage, to step into each day with a sense of purpose, and to navigate challenges with clarity and confidence. It is the peace that gives rise to wisdom, and the wisdom that helps us find peace in every moment. As we deepen our practice and cultivate inner peace, we realize that peace is not something we need to search for outside ourselves. It is already present within us, waiting to be discovered. The more we connect with this inner peace, the more we see that it is the key to living a life of fulfillment, resilience, and harmony. And as we live from this place of peace, we become a beacon of light for others, showing them the way to a life that is not bound by external conditions but rooted in the unchanging peace of the mind. In this way, the saying, Tom and Van Suen, becomes not just a wise teaching but a profound truth. When the mind is at peace, everything in life finds its natural balance. Conclusion: inner peace is not found outside, but within. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking peace externally. We search for tranquility in material possessions, in relationships, in achievements, and in the pursuit of success. Yet, time and time again, we find that these external sources of comfort are fleeting. They bring temporary satisfaction, but they are never truly capable of providing the lasting peace we yearn for. This is the profound truth that the Buddha's teachings reveal. True peace is not found outside of us, it is a state of mind, a cultivation of the heart, that must be nurtured from within. The Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, pointed us to the most important realization: light the lamp for yourself. This teaching is a direct invitation to take responsibility for our own inner peace. To stop relying on the external world to shape our emotional state, and to instead look within to ignite the light of awareness, mindfulness, and understanding. When we seek peace outside, we are often led astray, chasing after illusions that offer only temporary relief. Material things, status, and even the approval of others may seem like the path to peace, but they are like shadows, constantly shifting and fading. As long as we depend on the external world for our inner state, we will forever be chasing something that is elusive, as the nature of life is change. Instead of seeking in the world around us, the Buddha encourages us to return inward, to observe the currents of our own mind, to listen to the whispers of our heart, and to embrace the silence that exists within. Meditation, mindfulness, and the practice of letting go of attachments are the tools we can use to cultivate this inner peace. These practices allow us to reconnect with our true nature, which is already peaceful, wise, and compassionate. When we stop searching for peace in external things and start nurturing it within ourselves, we begin to realize that the peace we seek has always been there. It is not a distant goal, but a state of being that is accessible to us at any moment. The more we cultivate it, the more it becomes a permanent aspect of our life, no matter what external circumstances may arise. The journey to inner peace requires patience, practice, and deep introspection. It is not a quick fix, but a lifelong commitment to understanding ourselves, letting go of ego, and transforming the way we relate to the world. Each time we return to the present moment with mindfulness, each time we release a fear or a desire that no longer serves us, we move closer to the peace that resides within. Ultimately, the peace the Buddha speaks of is not just the absence of conflict or turmoil. It is a state of harmony with ourselves and with the world around us. It is the ability to stand firm in the face of life's challenges, with the knowledge that no external situation can disturb the calm that comes from within. In this, the Buddha offers us a simple but powerful message: peace is not a destination to be reached. It is a practice to be lived. By lighting the lamp for ourselves, we are not just finding peace, but we are becoming the peace we seek, and through this, we illuminate the path for others to follow as well. The inner peace we cultivate has the power to transform our lives and radiate outward, touching everyone we encounter. So, let us stop searching for peace in the world outside. Let us look within, tend to the garden of our hearts, and light the lamp of awareness. For it is only through this inward journey that we can experience the true, lasting peace that the Buddha promised.